Dr. Rajat Sanyal is a specialist in epigraphy and he comes often to this Bharat gallery of the Indian Museum. The inscriptions on these pillars are his subject of interest. Dr. Sanyal explains the donation of coins to cover the monastery.
This is one of the finest medallions in the Bharat cluster of sculptures. This medallion depicts a whole story represented within a single composition. It represents the story of a merchant called Anathapindaka who covered up a monastery called Jetavana with coins, and the entire medallion shows its different segments shows different parts of that story. Most importantly, this medallion is supported with 3 inscriptions. The principal inscription is on the lower border of the medallion. Then there are 2 other level inscriptions. The main purpose of this inscription is to describe the story depicted in the medallion. It reads the name of the monastery, the donor of it, and his action. Jetavana Anatha Pediko, that means Jetavana the monastery, Anatha Pindaka the merchant, Deti gave, Kuti Sangtha Tena Keti. That means the merchant Anathapindaka has covered up the entire area of the monastery with coins. Then the 2 other level inscriptions that are on the upper and left margin of the medallion, this reads Gadha Kuti, which is Sanskritized as Gandha Kuti. It's a segment of a monastery which has been translated as the perfumed hut. It's a part of the monastery, and this is a fragmentary inscription which has 5 letters. Actually reads Kosaba Kuti. It is highly fragmented, but it can be reconstructed as Kosaba Kuti, which should be the hut of the Kaushambas.
That is quite a feat. To cover the entire monastery compound with coins will take a lot of coins and wealth. But what is amazing is that the entire story is depicted in one medallion. There are the bullocks and the tilted cart. This perhaps is the donor who looks on, and these are the workers. This lady is perhaps the supplier of drinking water, and at the back there are the onlookers, a typical Indian scenario. Since the scene is so vivid and elaborate, not much explanation is needed, and hence the writing is so sparse. This is typical. Very often the communication is done in sculptures and therefore not much explanation is needed.
Now in this composition we have 2 inscriptions and 1 medallion. The upper inscription is of 2nd century BC and it narrates the donation of a man who came from a certain place. It describes his native place and records his donation in the Bharat cluster of sculptures. And in the second inscription, which is at least 100 years later than this upper one, if not more, it only describes the Buddha. Most interestingly, below it is the medallion that depicts the event of the birth of the Buddha, the dream of his mother, Mayadevi.